Good evening. We're going to call the meeting for Akron City Council to order at this time. Our clerk will read the roll.
Bolden,
Aye.
Boys,
Aye.
Connor,
Aye.
Davis,
Aye.
Fusco,
Aye.
Garrett,
Aye.
Hannah,
Aye.
Kamer,
Aye.
Lombardo,
Aye.
McKittrick,
Aye.
Amobian, Somerville,
Aye.
Wilson.
Aye.
All members are present except for Councilwoman Amobian.
At this time, if you'll voluntarily wish to do so, to please stand. We're going to ask if Councilman Lombardo will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Sure. I pledge allegiance
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The minutes from our previously held meeting have been provided. Are there any additions or corrections?
Motion to approve. Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
The motion to approve the minutes passes 12-0.
We'll now move to our public comment period. I'm going to ask all those who signed up to participate, if you'll please stand at this time so that you may be sworn in by our clerk.
Could you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give will be the truth? If so, please say, I do. Thank you.
Thank you. Just going to ask when you hear your name, if you'll please approach the podium, and you will have 3 minutes to speak to this body. And we're going to begin with Apostolette.
I stand before you with a Bill of Rights that has been engrafted into my life from the United States Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. So therefore, my speech is not to be imposed upon, and I am not to be silenced. The issue that is plaguing America has nothing to do with the sexist, racist media and what they're talking about. The issue that is plaguing America and all over the world is the violence and the violations against women and children. I don't care what religion it is. I don't care what political process it is. Women are not things. Who a man one day got knocked out, woke up, and saw a thing standing there that he named and defined. Children are not property. They're not possessions. They're not to be sexually abused by pedophiles. I'm calling to task this legislative body right now. I came here previously, and I still haven't heard from anybody, and I'm getting ready to play something for you because I really want to know who they are. You couldn't hear it before when I called in, so I thought I'd bring it in.
Okay, so I think I share some things with you that they've been shared with me because they're on my back, okay?
Who's on your back, Council President, that wants to silence me?
So, we are receiving complaints from residents regarding you getting up and speaking at every public hearing.
Okay, what's unconstitutional about that? What's illegal about that? This is why the rules changed for public speaking. It's not what you're thinking.
Speak on all items actually. So what I'm asking you, if you can help me, okay, utilize your time at public comment period.
No, because I only have 3 minutes.
Because the problem is that I'm going to have to break down the fact that, you know, when you speak at a public hearing, you have to speak specifically to the conditional use. So it's not about, you know, if someone is talking about a fence, you have to literally talk about a fence, not all the other things and issues of, oh, you want to keep this person out of the, because that's not what a conditional use is about. That's not what council is deciding.
But they can't tell me what I can and cannot talk about if I'm concerned about what is affecting the communities.
That's only a portion of it. So what's really being legislated? What's really being ruled upon? And I'm going to say this one more time, back up off of the woman who's a brown-skinned woman, because that's the only reason you're targeting her and you messing with her. Back up and back off of her. And let's move forward. As I said before, it's time for a new trajectory. You're only bothering her because she's a woman and she's a woman of color. Back up and back off.
Thank you, Apostolate. Thank you. Allison Otterman.
Good evening, Council. My name's Allison Otterman. I'm a resident of Ward 8 in the Fairlawn Heights neighborhood of Akron. I'm concerned about the safety of our roads during winter and how Akron's current snow and ice control plan endangers City of Akron residents. I'm here tonight to urge the city to review the snow and ice control plan and request revisions that better support resident safety and utilize taxpayer dollars. I recently spoke with Councilman Bolden, who advised that many city streets are not routinely plowed or salted if temperatures are expected to rise above freezing within a 72-hour window. Instead, residents must call 311 to request service due to staffing and budget limitations. Under the current system, if I call 311 to request service for my street, that benefits everyone who drives on it. But when I travel through other city roads that were not called in, I'm put in unsafe conditions through no fault of my own. Adherence to the city's own snow and ice control plan relies heavily on resident involvement. However, this is not the case for neighboring cities such as Barberton, Greene, Stowe, and Cuyahoga Falls, who prioritize and service all city roads after hazardous weather conditions. When temperatures rise above freezing during the day, snow melts. But when temperatures drop below freezing at night, that meltwater turns into black ice. This creates what's known as a refreeze period. When streets are left untreated during these refreeze periods, residents are forced to drive on roads that are often invisible sheets of ice. This affects morning commutes, school transportation, emergency response, and anyone else just simply trying to leave their home safely. After every single snowfall this winter, I waited for my road to be cleared, which is listed as a level 3 priority road. But a plow truck never came until after I made a formal request. I understand the need to prioritize main roads. What concerns me is the snow and ice covered roads that don't get serviced unless residents contact 311. Akron's crash and weather data through the months of December 24 through January 26 in the winter months identify a significant amount of crashes where snow or ice was specifically cited in the police reports. What's especially concerning is that an alarmingly high number of these crashes didn't occur during active snowfall. Over half of the accidents occurred during refreeze periods after the last snowfall, with crashes reported up to 19 days after the last snowfall, with black ice or poor road conditions being cited. This reinforces that the safety risk doesn't end when the snow stops falling. It continues during the days that follow, when melting and refreezing create hazardous conditions on untreated streets. Tomorrow's supposed to be 50 degrees. Tomorrow's low is in the 20s. We're looking at this again tomorrow. As of this past Saturday morning at 7 a.m., the city's snow and ice operations dashboard showed a level 4 response, yet at the same time, the majority of the roads in the city's own map had not been serviced in the past 24 hours. Road safety should not depend on individual requests. It should be built into the standard of city operations. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Deneen Pollard.
My name is Danae.
Deneen. I am sorry.
Say it with me, Danae. Okay. I'm just saying, hey, City Council, how y'all doing? Don't act like y'all can't engage with us now. See, this is the problem. I give y'all, I commend y'all. I would give y'all the benefit of the doubt.
You have to direct your comments to the chair, not to the council members, okay? So
I commend all of y'all, some of y'all. I see y'all getting more active with the community. I'll give you that. But I still have a problem. I notice we're sitting here and we still say, oh, let's hold the mayor. We are hoping the mayor we're trying to hold the mayor accountable, to hold them accountable, or the police force accountable, or for him to take action. Upon research, I read the Akron City Charter. Charter 43, Section 1 states that the mayor can be removed upon city council And guess who has the power to act upon that petition? Goodness, Margot Somerville, President. You have the power right now to start a petition to have the mayor removed. According to the charter, 43 section 1. All of y'all should know this. See, this is what I mean by when I say take the power back to the people. You are with the people, correct? Make the petition happen. You are next in line. I've said this before. So for us to sit back here and keep waiting for the mayor to do something, knowing he's not going to do nothing. Are y'all paying attention to what the mayor is doing? He put a new director of the law department. That means anything that y'all say still has to go through Mr. Angeloni. Is that you over there, Mr. Angeloni?
Mr. Polar, direct your comments.
Look, he is the new director of the law department. He also put a new director over public safety. So that means if we did file a lawsuit, it has to probably go through him first at the end of the day. Or it probably has to go through that public safety officer at the end of the day. So that shows he's putting in people in position. Just in case he doesn't win re-election, that's why he's brought a whole new law firm back in here. You know, Black History fact. I heard Fusco say this is a blue state. Well, let me teach you something, little Fusco. Did you know? Do you know about the Kansas Act? The Kansas Act was started by black people as Republicans to go against the Democrats who were trying to expand slavery. I'm going to just let y'all think on that.
Thank you, Mr. Polar. Donnie Brooks. Donnie, turn your mic on for us.
I want to be clear. This is not about politics for me. This is about accountability. We elect council members to represent us, to fight for us, and to show up for us. But too often, what we see instead is silence, delay, and excuses. While meetings continue and talking points repeat, our neighborhoods are still dealing with the same problems year after year after year. We're still talking about unsafe streets. We're still talking about a neglected housing. We're still talking about a lack of investment in youth, families, and working class communities. And the question the residents keep asking is simple. What is actually being done? People don't want press releases. They don't want finger pointing. They want results. In Ward 4 and across Akron, residents feel like decisions are being made about them and not with them. They show up, they speak during public comment, and then nothing changes. That we can trust. And when trust is gone, democracy stops working the way it should. Leadership isn't about holding a title. It's about presence. It's about follow through. It's about standing up for your constituents, even when it's uncomfortable. If a council member hasn't held regular community meetings, hasn't returned calls, hasn't pushed legislation that directly improves quality of life, then residents have every right to ask why. The city has potential. Akron is full of hardworking people, strong families, and young people who deserve better than broken promises. But potential means nothing without action. So tonight, I'm letting the city council know, and most importantly, remember who you work for. Time is running out for these seats. 2027 election, we will have new faces in these seats. You best believe that. Akron doesn't need more speeches. Akron needs leadership that shows up and delivers, like me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brooks. Autumn Riddle.
Riddle?
All right, same stuff, different Monday. I'm Autumn, as you all know. Akron is a resilient community, one that has faced tragedy, division, and real pain in the recent years. We've seen high-profile incidents that have shaken trust, including the tragic shooting of 15-year-old Jasmine Tucker and others that have left families grieving and neighbors questioning whether justice is truly equal. These aren't isolated events. They reflect broader concerns about use of force, transparency, and accountability that many of us have raised questions about for years. Last week, we watched the mayor lose his composure. The dispute centered on a police reform progress and a promotional flyer poster for one of Garrett's community forums on policing. This back and forth highlighted ongoing divisions. Garrett advocates for quicker, more aggressive accountability measures, including some executive actions the mayor could take, fire and fields, while Malik emphasizes collaborative, data-driven approaches that balance reform with supporting officers and public safety gains. Yet, as recent community forums hosted by Eric Garrett made it clear, many residents like myself feel the reform isn't moving fast enough or far enough. Reform isn't about anti-police. It's about pro-safety, pro-accountability, and pro-Akron. It's about ensuring every resident, regardless of zip code, race, or background, feels safe calling 911 and confident that officers will act justly. It's about supporting our officers with the training, tools, and wellness resources they need to do their job effectively without unnecessary risk. We can build a safer Akron together, one where trust is earned through transparency, where tragedies are prevented through better policies, and where community and police work as true partners. Also, just to make it clear, ICE is not welcome here. They should not be welcome in our schools, churches, hospitals, courthouses, places where people feel safe. We're still demanding justice, justice for Jalen, justice for Jasmine, justice for all stolen lives.
Thank you, Autumn. Tasha Mills.
Good evening. So the mayor has taken a public stance against local law enforcement working with ICE. The reasoning is familiar: protecting due process, preventing overreach, and maintaining community trust. That sounds good. But statements don't protect people, conduct does. Here's the problem. The city is willing to draw a hard line against a federal agency for potential rights violations, while repeatedly failing to draw the same hard line inside its own police department. ICE cooperation is optional. APD misconduct is not. ICE requires active participation, sharing data, honoring detainers, joint actions. The city can simply say no. APD, on the other hand, operates under the Constitution every single day. There is no discretion when it comes to unlawful stops, excessive force, retaliation, or violations of due process. Yet what residents see is a pattern: discipline reduced or erased through arbitration, misconduct settlements paid quietly with public money, and oversight bodies constrained after the fact instead of empowered up front. So let me be blunt. If the city claims it won't work with ICE because it undermines trust and civil liberties, then tolerating unchecked behavior within APD undermines that claim. You don't get to condemn federal overreach while excusing local abuse. That's not principle, that's not optics. Community trust doesn't disappear because of immigration status. It disappears when residents watch accountability collapse inside City Hall. So the question before council is not about ICE. The real question is, what standard of behavior is the city actually enforcing? Because if APD is held to a lower standard than the agencies we criticize, then this city is not protecting civil rights, it's managing public perception. City is not, I'm sorry, and perception will not save you in court, in settlements, or in the streets. Only consistent enforcement will. Thank you. FAGC, Akron, Ohio.
Thank you, Tasha. Acacia Reynolds.
I wish I could say good evening like I usually do. Councilman Bolden, Councilman Fusco, and Councilman McKittrick, you disgust me. How dare you? How dare you, on behalf of every minority and majority that I represent, go against the very humanity of offering condolences to a grieving family. I am so glad that I was not here last week, because I am very sure that I would have been thrown out. That was issue 1. Issue 2. This is not a caricature. This is a question. A question that should have been asked a long time before Mr. Garrett was a councilman in this horseshoe. Now, let us talk about what this question is, because I guarantee you that the subject of police reform is very near and dear to my heart. And I also guarantee you that just because it's near and dear to my heart does not mean I don't support the police officers that I know that are all the time seeking to bridge the gap, seeking to serve the community relentlessly, faithfully, and oftentimes without thanks. We have had 2 meetings with the community thanks to Ms. Davis, Mr. Garrett, and President Somerville, talking to the community about how we feel about police reform. This conversation should have been held a long time ago. Points were brought up that the auditor has brought up as well, like not using head strikes for low-level offenses. I ask you, why isn't this already a part of the Akron police force? If I went and hit somebody in the head because I didn't like what they had to say, or I felt they disrespected me, I would be arrested, and rightfully so. So why are the people with the guns not held to the same standard? Now, every single person on this shirt has my utter and complete respect, except one who has dashed my dreams and hopes at almost every turn. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Acacia. That concludes our public comment period at this time. We do want to thank all of those who took the time to come down and to participate. Council, before you is the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
The consent agenda passes 12-0.
We'll now move to old business, planning and economic development. Councilman Fusco. Councilman Fusco, you're on mute.
Thank you. I'd like to take time on item number 1 and the wishes of the committee on item number 2 is for suspension of the rules with a favorable report.
Thank you. Are there any objections to suspension of the rules? Seeing and hearing none, the rules have been suspended.
Yeah, I'd like to ask Council Representative Wilson to please speak on this item.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Chair. I'm over Ward 1, and we have the lovely neighborhood of Highland Square in our district. We gave a presentation to Council in Planning Committee today about something that we've been working on between me and the administration and property owners and neighbors in Highland Square over the last 7-ish months, which is to support and implement a special improvement district, which is a geographically bound area to take assessments from property owners and fund public space and business improvements. We've had a lot of discussion. I was happy to have some personal one-on-one conversations and some dialogue during committee, and we're hoping for passage. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Fusco, do you have anything further?
I do not.
Okay, thank you. So the rules have been suspended. The committee's report is favorable. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
This resolution passes 12-0.
Councilman Fusco?
Time on 3, 4, and 5. And the request of the committee on item number 6, there's a new piece substitute. I'd like to ask the clerk to please read in.
Yes, there is a substitute offered as an amendment. You'll find this as item number 1 under new legislation. It's a resolution adopting the 2026 Capital Investment and Community Development Program, legally referred to as the Capital Investment Budget, and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Fusco?
The report of the committees for suspension of the rules with a favorable report.
Are there any objections to suspension of the rules? Seeing and hearing none, the rules have been suspended.
Yes, thank you. The committee, the Planning Committee of Council, had conducted a number of public hearings, a public hearing, I'm sorry, as well as a line-by-line review of the budget, of the capital budget, of which it's $39 million less than the 2025 budget. The 70% of the investments are from federal and state sources, and about 30% are local sources. This doesn't have within this budget everything that everybody wants. These are lean times, and they're only going to get leaner. But I do certainly want to extend a thank you to the planning department and all their hard work, and appreciate the input of various council members who've been involved with this, and request passage this evening.
Thank you. Any further comments? Councilperson Wilson?
If I may, I just wanted to share some quick thoughts and reflection. This is my 6th time listening into the city budget, the first time on this side of that wall. And it's been a great process, and I think a lot of folks know that I'm a pretty big critique of our budget and our process here with our dollars. So I appreciate having conversations and getting some answers to my question. I'm sharing that I am voting in favor of the legislation tonight, but I just wanted to share my thoughts on 2 items that I definitely oppose. And my understanding is these things will come back before council again for final approval and allocation of dollars. The first one was, a new addition to the budget in December about adding $2 million of debt towards the police headquarters. I would like to know more about how those plans are working, and sit down and have further conversations about that. The second is the long gun program, which I think I've brought up a couple times here, and we've seen a newspaper article. We're having a lot of conversations about guns and weaponry and use of force right now. That personal policy is hard for me to swallow. But the budget is bigger than that. There are hundreds of line items, many of which I agree and will empower Akronites and help those most in need. So I just wanted to share my thoughts before we vote. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The rules have been suspended and the committee's report is favorable. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
This resolution passes 12-0.
Councilman Fusco?
Yes, thank you. The committee requests time on item number 7. Item number 8, the report of the committee is favorable, and we're asking for passage.
Any further comments on that?
Yes, just that this is streamlining the process, referencing the zoning code and aligning with the form base for downtown Akron signage. And so with that, and we did have a public hearing on this January 12th. And so we're asking for passage this evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So the committee's report is favorable. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
This ordinance passes 12-0.
Councilman Fusco?
The request of the committee is to file item number 9. That's the marijuana dispensary that was passed some time ago. Item number 10, the report of the committee is favorable, and we're asking for passage.
Any further comment?
I don't know if Representative Tina Boyes would have any comments or not. This is located in her ward, and I know she had put forth quite a bit of effort on this particular conditional use.
Councilwoman Boyes?
Thank you, Madam President. This came up back in December for a public hearing, and we had a couple folks from my community come down and voice some concerns with regard to some water issues that they had been having. I was able to go out to the premises with folks from the engineering department, not once, but twice, and we acknowledge that there are some issues, particularly with some highway water runoff, and partially a piece of private property that has a buried storm sewer that one of the complainants was not aware of. So I am comfortable now, having spoken with the engineering department, that this particular project will not cause any further damage, but may also offer opportunity for some positive things to happen if they find, issues that they can reconcile while they're working on it. So I appreciate it and I support this. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The committee's report is favorable. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
This ordinance passes 12-0.
Councilman Fusco?
Yes, thank you. The report of the committee is to file item number 11. This is the petition on the one we had just voted on. And the committee would like to add item number 12 to the consent agenda for our next meeting. And then the wishes of the committee is for time on the balance of the agenda.
Okay, thank you so much. Public Safety, Councilman McKittrick.
Continue time, please.
Thank you. Time will be granted. That concludes our old business. We'll now move into new legislation.
Item number 1 was the substitute offered as an amendment that was already voted on, so we'll move into item number 2, offered by Fusco. Ordinance authorizing the mayor or his designee to enter into a development agreement with Ajinomoto Health and Nutrition North America Incorporated, the developer, or its nominee, providing for the sale and redevelopment of property located within the city of Akron at 929 Hone Avenue, Akron, Ohio 44305, finding such property is not needed for any public use and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Fusco?
Consent agenda.
This item will be placed on the consent agenda.
Item number 3, offered by Fusco. Ordinance authorizing the mayor or his designee to enter into a development agreement with Osborne Capital Group LLC, the developer, or its nominee, and Akron Initiative LLC, providing for the sale and redevelopment of property located within the city of Akron at 123 West Barges Street, Akron, Ohio 44311, finding such property is not needed for any public use and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Fusco?
Consent agenda.
This item will be placed on the consent agenda.
Item number 4, offered by Fusco. Ordinance authorizing the Director of the Department of Planning and Urban Development or his designee to enter into a contract or contracts with 123 West Barges LLC for the acquisition and redevelopment of multifamily apartment building at 123 West Barges Street to carry out the intent and purpose of programs under the consolidated plan, authorizing payment therefor and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Fusco?
Consent agenda.
This item will be placed on the consent agenda.
Item number 5, offered by Fusco. Ordinance authorizing the mayor or his designee to, if awarded, accept and expend funds from the Better Utilizing Investments to Leverage Development Build grant program through the United States Department of Transportation for services supporting planning efforts and traffic studies concerning the Interbelt and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Fusco?
Request of the committees for suspension of the rules with a favorable report.
Are there any objections to suspension of the rules? Seeing and hearing none, the rules have been suspended.
Yes, this is requesting some grant funding, hoping we're going to receive it, over $2 million for a planning study for the Innerbelt area. And so let's hope, cross our fingers, and hopefully we'll get this grant, can begin the planning process.
Thank you. The rules have been suspended and the committee's report is favorable. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
This ordinance passes 12-0. Item number 6, offered by Fusco and Bolden. Ordinance authorizing the mayor or his designee to, if awarded, accept and expend funds from the Better Utilizing Investments to Leverage Development (BUILD) grant program through the United States Department of Transportation for services supporting planning efforts and traffic studies concerning the Merriman Valley and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Fusco?
Request of committees for suspension of the rules with a favorable report.
Are there any objections to suspension of the rules? Seeing and hearing none, the rules have been suspended.
Yes, again, this is a grant that we're hoping to receive from the United States Department of Transportation. This is for approximately $550,000. This is for traffic and roadway master, and it fits within the master plan for the Merriman Valley area. So with that, we're recommending approval this evening and cross our fingers that we can get this funding for this traffic study. Thank you.
Thank you. The rules have been suspended and the committee's report is favorable. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? The ayes have it.
This ordinance passes 12-0. Item number 7, offered by Kamer. Ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Service or his designee to enter into a contract or contracts after publicly advertising for bids for construction at the Canal Place parking lot and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Kamer?
Consent agenda.
This item will be placed on the consent agenda.
Item number 8, offered by Kamer. Ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Service or his designee to enter into a contract or contracts after publicly advertising for bids for the removal of a low head dam on and restoration of the Little Cuyahoga River and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Kamer?
Consent agenda.
This item will be placed on the consent agenda.
Item number 9, offered by Kamer. Ordinance authorizing the mayor or his designee to accept, expend, and enter into a contract or contracts with the United States Environmental Protection Agency for Great Lakes Restoration Initiative funding to support the removal of a low head dam on and restoration of the Little Cuyahoga River and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Kamer?
Consent agenda.
This item will be placed on the consent agenda.
Item number 10, offered by Kamer. Ordinance authorizing the mayor or his designee to enter into a contract or contracts without the formality of publicly advertising for bids with Sorrento Acquisition LLC, doing business as Royce U.S. Protection, to provide security-related services with respect to the City of Akron Municipal Building and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Kamer?
Thank you, Madam President. The committee's report is favorable, and we're asking for suspension of the rules.
Are there any objections to suspension of the rules? Councilman Kamer, then I'll come to you.
If I may add, Chair?
Yes.
I had a note earlier, we were able to get a hold of the contract, so I just wanted to say that I reviewed this contract. I did have a question, maybe outstanding about, because Royce does a lot of security stuff for events, the municipal building. If there's a use of force incident, if Royce takes action and uses force on individuals, I just want to know a little bit more about the process. It seems like they have to report, but I don't really know enough about that, and the contract didn't really outline too much about that, so I just wanted to ask if there was anybody in this room who could answer something like that.
Okay, we'll make sure that, we get an answer to that question for you, okay, Councilperson? Councilman Kamer, did you have anything further to add?
Nothing further, please.
Okay, thank you. The rules have been suspended, and the committee's report is favorable. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
This ordinance passes 12-0. Item number 11, offered by Kamer. Resolution declaring it necessary to improve Wendling Drive from Peely Drive to East End, Peely Drive 60 feet north of Wendling Drive, and Arborway Drive 60 feet north of Wendling Drive by paving, grading, constructing, and reconstructing curbs, concrete sidewalks, driveway approaches, storm sewers and sanitary sewers, installing roof drain pipes and planting trees, all together with the necessary appurtenances, and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Kamer,
Consent agenda.
this item will be placed on the consent agenda.
Item number 12, offered by Kamer, ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Service or his designee to enter into a contract or contracts with Raftellus Financial Consultants Incorporated for a customer information system implementation support arrangement and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Kamer,
Consent agenda.
this item will be placed on the consent agenda.
Item number 13, offered by Kamer, ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Service or his designee to enter into a contract or contracts with Veolia Water Services North America, LLC, to support services for the City of Akron Water Bureau and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Kamer,
Consent agenda.
this item will be placed on the consent agenda.
Item number 14, offered by Mayor Malik, Councilperson Wilson, and Councilman Fusco. Resolution opposing the passage of Ohio General Assembly House of Representatives Bills 26, 42, and 281, and Senate Bill 172, which would require local law enforcement agencies and other entities to assist the United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, in its operations, and declaring an emergency.
Councilman McKittrick,
The committee's report is favorable, asking for suspension of the rules.
are there any objections to suspension of the rules? Seeing and hearing none, the rules have been suspended.
I would like to yield to Council Member Wilson, who is the sponsor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Just before I say a couple words, there is a clerical grammar error. If I could make it a motion to amend section 1 to replace the first quote 42 and replace it with 26, just to match the title byline and the essence of the legislation. If I can make such a motion.
So we'll make sure that it gets adjusted, but you can continue with your comments.
Understood. Thank you so much. Ohio House Bills 26, 42, 281, and Senate Bill 172 require local law enforcement agencies and other entities to assist with federal ICE operations, from access and enforcement at public buildings, schools, hospitals, and in arrests and detentions. This resolution tonight is standing in opposition to that state legislation and affirms Akron as a welcoming city for not only all of us, but also refugee and immigrant neighbors that have come to this city to call home. The legislation before the state legislature is harmful and frankly violent towards Akronites and Ohioans. These bills are designed to stoke fear and intimidation and also burden local aid entities with the enforcement of federal immigration laws. These bills also seem to navigate individual rights and forces entities to waive their rights in search and seizure and warrant protections, allowing federal agents to be able to enter facilities and premises without a warrant. We have seen the violence and the terror in other states, and I'm here to stand firmly against that in my way. I urge our residents to take a moment and reach out to your state legislators and tell them why they should oppose this. And I personally ask my colleagues to pass this tonight, and if they feel so, add their names. This is, I feel like, very important to how we are going about living our lives today and protecting our fellow neighbors. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any additional comments at this time? I do believe Councilman Fusco.
Yes, thank you. And appreciate the comments by Representative Wilson. This is, yet again, an invasion of our home rule. And this is where the State House is dictating what cities across Ohio, dictating to us how we operate and utilizing our resources. Our resources are stretched thin We know that better than anyone. And this is this is the last thing we need in Akron, in Ohio, in the United States. And so, and again, I hope that others will join in and pass this. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further comments? Seeing and hearing none, the rules have been suspended and the committee's report is favorable. Oh, Councilman Garrett, I see your hand. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Madam President, for the opportunity to comment. I want to thank the sponsor person, Fran, for bringing this up. I think this is important. I think this is an important opportunity for us to pay attention to for several reasons. Always want to take an opportunity to look out for the least of us, rather. When you really sit back and take a look at what's happening here in terms of our mayor, Madam President, has the ability to direct our law enforcement to participate or not participate. We're asking the same thing, Madam President. The mayor take a stance. Allow our police officers the opportunity to follow his leadership. His leadership should be on no direct head strikes. His leadership should be no pursuits for low-level crimes harming folks by running to them in our community. Automatic look back on body cam. Automatic where you're able to hear the entire conversation. These are just basic things. He's able to direct them not to participate with ICE. We're asking them to do just the opposite. You can't have your cake and eat it too. At one turn, you can't say, hey, I'm not going to have them participate. Then on the other hand, you stop them from doing their jobs. I want to invite everyone out to our next forum. It's going to be February the 19th at Ed Davis Community Center. Bring your concerns. It was unfortunate that the mayor decided not to participate in the last event. He told his staff not to show up, not to answer questions for our constituents. He directs when he wants to direct. I just want to make sure that we all understand that. We're just asking for fairness across the board, Madam President. This is a great piece. Take the opportunity to look out for these folks so ICE just don't take advantage of them. But a lot of Akron residents are suffering similar situations, Madam President. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Councilman Garrett. Councilman Fusco?
Yes, thank you. The primary sponsor here is not only Councilperson Wilson, but Mayor Malik. Mayor Malik is the one who brought this to our attention in terms of, and worked with, obviously, the other primary sponsor, Councilperson Wilson. And he's the one, along with the Mayor's Association for the state of Ohio, they're all standing for this piece against the state. That's what's going on here. The mayor has taken the initiative. I can tell you the mayor has taken the initiative and brought people together in our community to discuss this, to care about those immigrants and refugees in our community, the most vulnerable. The mayor to game plan how we're going to deal with it whenever the time comes for the city of Akron. And I would ask President, in the future, if we could please make sure that we stay on the point of the legislation and not drift into commercialism and not drift into other agendas, because this is the piece that was before us. This is what we should be talking about. We shouldn't be talking about a reform meeting on something totally different. We are here just because of the legislation, the resolution that is before us.
Thank you. Councilman Garrett?
Thank you, Madam President. It's all about law enforcement, Madam President. It's about law enforcement. The topic is about law enforcement. How you want someone to be treated. You cannot have your cake and eat it too. The gentleman who my colleague, he has to understand that all we're asking for is the exact same level of concern for the people like Jasmine Tucker, Mike Jones. We're asking for the same level of concern. That's it. It doesn't have to be like Kemp Boyd. It doesn't have to be either or. It's both and. It's both is what I'm saying. I mean, we're just asking for the exact same treatment, the exact same level of care. We want to hold these people accountable, Madam President. And I just hope that my colleagues really take the time to understand what we're trying to say. We just want real, meaningful police reform. ICE just are on their way to Springfield. But we've had a situation here that's been going on for over 2 years that this mayor has promised to address meaningfully. I 100% support Franz what he's trying to do. But this has nothing to do with those young Black boys, poor white brown boys that are being mistreated and misconduct, all that behavior that's happening right now. We're trying to stop ICE from doing it here. What we're trying to say is already happening here. We just want our mayor to step up.
Grass, please maintain, just so we can hear. Thank you.
And that's all we're asking for. It's a Kemp Boyd. It's a both and. It's not an either or, Madam President. And I hope my colleagues understand what we're saying. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Garrett. Councilperson Wilson?
Thank you. I think, yes, we have strayed a little bit off the topic, but also not at all. So I understand and I, stand with you in that, Mr. Garrett, and I think my thoughts about where we need to be on reform, which is somewhere, hopefully, and soon. But, I also hold a lot of doubts about our ability to react with the resources that we need if ICE ever comes here when, I think many of you know I'm a harsh critic of our public safety and some of the killings and things that we have seen in our own neighborhoods. How can we expect any better? I look forward to having more discussions with you, and I want us to look at policy as well. And I've come to your forums, and I just wanted to point out, definitely I hold space for both things. So I just want to say that. Thank you.
Thank you. The committee's report is favorable. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? The ayes have it.
This resolution passes 12-0.
That concludes our new legislation. We'll now move into committee assignments. Rules, Councilman McKittrick.
2 p.m.
Public Safety, Councilman McKittrick.
2:15.
Budget and Finance, Councilman Lombardo.
3 p.m.
Parks and Recreation, Councilwoman Connor.
1:45.
Planning and Economic Development, Councilman Fusco.
1.
Housing and Neighborhood Assistance, Councilman Bolden.
3:30.
Public Service, Councilman Kamer.
2 p.m.
Health and Social Services, Councilwoman Davis.
2:30.
Is there anything else coming before council at this time?
Motion to adjourn.
We have a motion on the floor. If there are no objections, meeting adjourned.
This concludes the live broadcast of Akron City Council. Margot Somerville, President of Council, presiding.